Welcome back to the Cream Spot. I'm your co-host, the delicious Rob Diggity Dingle Dog. I'm here with Rob Diggity Dingle Dog. This is an episode about AIDS. CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, created AIDS from chimpanzee buttholes.
Sounds plausible.
That's plausible.
Plausible.
That was a pretty sad joke, right?
Yes.
Hold on.
There you go.
There you go. There's your sad joke.
All right.
Welcome back to the Brohio Podcast. We are elated to have you here with us, talking about AIDS. This is a Patreon-sponsored episode.
That it is.
This is from Tyler.
T-Dog.
T-Dog. T-Vizzle.
T-Drizzle.
Affectionately, yeah.
T-Jizzle.
T-Jizzle.
That's a bad joke.
No, I like it. I thought it was good.
Okay.
It was good. I thought it was really nice. We're definitely going to have to bring those down post-production because those are really fucking loud on there.
That's weird because I can barely hear them. They're really quiet.
Because this motherfucker's turned down right
Okay.
here.
Hey,
That
kick drums.
Yeah.
I felt that.
It's in there.
I felt it in my gonad.
I have nothing. I have no articles this week. I have nothing. I'm a broken man. I've recently shit my pants. I'm a recovering pants shitter.
Covering poop pants.
I'm still trying to get over showing the penis to the Mexican in the locker room at work last week.
Yeah.
If you don't know about that story, tune into our Christmas Crimes episode. You can hear about me exposing my penis to a Hispanic fellow.
Has it been awkward at work since then?
He's been really nice to me.
He liked it.
Really, really nice to me. As a disclaimer for this episode, as we talk to Tyler, we are socially unaware of, we have no social etiquette, Rob and I.
Yeah, we're completely ignorant to everything.
We grew up in a day and age where if someone did something stupid, you're like, hey, you're a faggot. That's not acceptable anymore. And that's not the way we intend to come across in this episode. Rob and I are gay. If you met us in public, you'd be like, they're gay, for sure. We're the kind of guys, if you met us, we would undoubtedly be friends with you. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your race is, your nationality, where you lay down at night, who you lay down with. It doesn't matter. We love all of you the same, and we would be best friends, and sexuality has nothing to do about how we feel about a person. I'm happy for the rights that people have gained over the past decade.
We're pretty much saints.
We are saints. So if we make some jokes in this episode that you're like, God damn, just know it's coming from a good place.
Yeah, that's what we do.
We're lovely people.
Right.
We make non-PC jokes, and we've kind of got a niche here, guys. It's been about 3 years.
Yeah, if you haven't figured that out by now.
Yeah.
Man.
If you haven't figured it out,
welcome to the show.
Fuck you. Man. So just keep in mind that we are super nice guys, and there's nothing that we don't intend to offend anyone. We've talked to Tyler already. Tyler, I said, where do you live? He said, I'm gay. And I said, all right, well, that's an icebreaker right there. So if Tyler gives us the stamp of approval, so can you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about a new Patreon subscribers.
Sure.
Give him that first one. That's wicked.
Fucking sweet name, Viper Bubbles. That's sweet.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a mixture between like a 80s band that can't decide if they want to be metal or pop.
I don't know what it is.
I like it.
Something to do with having sex with a snake, which I would never do.
I would think so.
Andres Miza. I'm not good at names that aren't John Smith. So unfortunately, I'm sorry if I messed up your name, Andres. I love you. And I love your tacos.
Oh, yeah. Next, we got Jared Calica.
And one of our most faithful listeners from the past years, James Ponscum.
Thank you, sir.
I don't think his last name is Ponscum. I talked to him once via via video messenger, and he was cleaning scum out of a pond. So he was in a fucking boat cleaning out a pond.
I just like the picture because from that picture of how small it is, he looks like Hagrid.
No, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he is.
He'd fucking kill everybody in this room right now.
You definitely.
And the cats. So James, buddy, we love you. Thank you so much for your continued support over the years.
Love you. And then we got Don Rush. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don Rush. Last and least, not least, Lucy Pooper. I cut that off a little bit. It's Cooper. Lucy Cooper.
Oh, yeah, I see that now.
Lucy Cooper the Pooper, we are so appreciative of your Patreon pledge. Rob has a child named Cooper.
I do. It's a great name.
Wonderful.
Yep.
He's getting old now. He's probably got hair in a sack.
We call him Cooter.
Cooter the Pooter.
Yep.
I just call him Coop Man. He's got a lot of names.
Coop Dog.
He's a man of many names.
He is.
And he's chilled. He's more chilled than Rob.
Yeah, he's pretty... He's a lot like me.
He has no emotional issues whatsoever. Your kids probably do, because that's what's wrong with kids these days. They're all fucked up. Cooper the Pooper, he's good to go.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
Fuck yeah, he is. This is where I normally say, I got a stupid fucking article for you. I looked for articles for an hour and a half to 2 hours. I found nothing. There was no funny articles this week, guys. Nothing in the world.
Slow week for news.
Nothing funny happened.
Nothing funny at all.
Christmas happened. Everyone's broke and sad. That's
depressed.
What happened.
Yeah.
People,
all I know is, I don't think anybody, well, besides parents, the people that are the most depressed that coming up this week are going to be the fucking trash men.
Yeah, dude.
I have 3 full trash cans plus at least 11 trash bags laying on my street right now.
No.
Those poor dudes. And a TV that got broken by one of the kids.
Again?
No, it's one of the old ones. We're just now throwing it out.
Oh, okay. Jesus, like, man, those kids are on a fucking roll.
And there's going to be a Christmas tree out there, so.
I can't wait.
I was thinking about just throwing it in the burn pile and just setting a whole fucking tree on fire.
Just go out there and tell them, be like, look, buddy.
The city will go crazy, though.
I want you to get rid of this thing for me. I want you to make this go away.
I will do favors for you in the backyard if that's what it takes.
In the infancy of Patreon, did you just say you would like fuck a trash guy to get rid of your Christmas tree?
Nope.
That's desperate right there. I will come and take your Christmas tree.
I will fuck you in the backyard.
I'm getting fucked, but I will come take your Christmas tree.
They got a trampoline on there. Back there.
I'm too fat for a trampoline. It specifically says, don't get on this, Nick, when I gotta get on.
It has just your face with like the circle and the line through it.
Yeah.
No nicks.
In the infancy of our Patreon episodes, we do a thing where I would read a Urban Dictionary.
Oh, yeah, and we try to guess what it meant.
I would read Rob an Urban Dictionary definition. No, the word.
Yeah, the word.
And then he would try and tell me what the definition was.
Fucking catch me all off guard.
Oh, I'm just going to hit you with a few. You don't have to hit me at all if you don't want to.
Uh-huh.
First off, I have suicide wank. Rob, what does suicide wank mean?
It's like that fucking dude from Karate Kid, what he did, right?
Wax on, wax off?
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
What was his name?
Mr. Miyagi.
No, I'm not thinking of the dude who died jerking off while he was choking himself.
Oh, James Carradine.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
No, that's not a suicide wank at all.
Oh, okay, darn.
This seems like a lot of fun. It says, when you're having a wank, just before you blow the load, shout out, Mom or Dad.
Oh, no.
And try and finish before they get into your room. A friend tried a suicide wank and won. He did it and failed the second time.
Oh, God.
Bathroom battleship.
Oh, it's another one? Bathroom battleship. That's a hard one. I don't know.
We are going to go do this as soon as we're done recording this episode.
Is that when there's a turd in the toilet and you try to piss on it? Try to cut it in half?
No, that's called the lightsaber. This is
okay.
different. Bathroom battleship. When 2 friends are in a public bathroom and adjacent stalls taking dumps. Each wipes his ass with toilet paper, then proceeds to toss the soiled toilet paper over the top of the stall in the friend's stall in an attempt to hit his friend with the soiled toilet paper. Similar to the game Battleship, except you use toilet paper with shit in it instead of plastic pigs.
That's so bad.
Mom, how did you get those doo-doo stains on your shirt and your hair? Son, Johnny and I played Bathroom Battleship at the supermarket.
Oh, God. That's fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I don't ever want to play that, but that sounds fun.
No. How about a Panamanian petting zoo?
Oh, Jesus. I have no idea.
Oh, my God. This is going to be the last one.
Is that just when a bunch of people with bushes try to finger each other?
Nope. Panamanian petting zoo. When one force one's partner to pick the nuts and corn out of a bowel movement,
ew.
The partner then presents the nuts and corn to a cup or a dish. One then tosses the nuts and corn into the bed where the partner eats them like a goat.
What?
Oh, I don't even want to finish it. It's where you eat corn out of somebody's shit and short. Oh, Jesus Christ, Rob.
Who makes this shit up? This has to be some, like, boring white person.
Very similar to a...
Or bored, I should say.
Very close to a Kentucky Klondike bar.
Names are so good.
A Kentucky Klondike bar is absolutely delicious. Speaking of Kentucky, we have some live shows coming up.
Oh, we do?
Yep. I don't know the dates or the people.
Me neither.
But we are going to be with none other than our friend Jerry Pauly from Hillbilly Horror Stories.
The lizard man himself.
We're going to call him right now.
Oh, shit.
I switched the wrong one.
This is right. There we go. Yeah, now we're calling him.
Yep. Maybe he'll answer. Maybe he won't. Hello?
Hey, you crusty fucker. How low are your balls hanging?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jerry Pauly from the Hillbilly Horror Stories. Jerry, how are you doing, buddy? We're recording a podcast.
Calling me live again?
It was out of nowhere. I don't even know where this came from.
Oh, I know where it came from.
Okay,
I have a trivia question for you, Jerry.
Okay, I'm all about trivia
What
questions.
What is a Kentucky Klondike bar?
Kentucky Klondike bar. I give up.
It is the act of freezing a bowel movement and sexually penetrating another with the frozen bowel movement.
Jesus.
That's where you fuck somebody with a frozen turd.
That is disgusting.
You're my only...
And yet it's now on my bucket list.
We don't have any friends from Kentucky because we don't speak the native language, and you were our only friend from Kentucky. Well, you and Tracy. I figured she wouldn't answer, so...
Like, oh, next call.
You talk about the native language.
That's Louisiana.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's like the Ohio mating hall. I'm so fucking drunk.
Jesus, man, that's not true. That's just mostly Rob, not me.
True.
Very true.
Very true.
Well, Jerry, thank you so much for answering. If you guys have never listened to Hillbilly Horror Stories, go over there. Jerry will just absolutely penetrate you with wonderful ghost stories. Kentucky Klondike bars everywhere.
Aplenty.
Of plenty.
And thank you so much for interrupting the recording of one of those episodes.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, pal. I love you.
Nice.
I love you, dude.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Nice guy. Right? So there's our 15 minutes pre-show.
There you go.
We nailed it.
All right.
And then we can switch back to the fucking...
There's going to be a lot of that in this episode.
Yeah. So, we are covering the topic, CIA covered AIDS. No, they created AIDS.
There you go.
They
knitted a nice warm blanket out of it and
threw it over a bunch of gay guys.
Covered the gay community. Well, not just the gay community, but primarily.
And I talked to Tyler about this. Some of you may not see things on the broad spectrum. You may subscribe to certain theories about the Bible and stuff, but there is a fleshy nugget in your butthole. What are you laughing at? There is a
good old butt nugget.
There is a fleshy nugget in your butthole.
Male's butthole.
Yeah, it's very sensitive. If you can get to that thing during climax, boy.
Just a little butthole jelly bean.
I've never tried it because
the
nuggets in my butt are a little bit different than the nuggets we're talking about.
There's not just one nugget in there.
There's a lot of nuggets. We call them butt nugs. There's a lot of different nuggets going on down there for the delicious Nicolicious. So if you're ever bored, just cram your finger up your butt.
Poke at your butt nugget.
And someone may walk by and say, what are you doing? You just say, I'm looking for the nugget. And they say, well, why don't you go down to McDonald's and order a number 9 then, or a number 10. Number 10's 10 nuggets. That makes sense.
Okay.
That just blew my fucking mind. I never knew that.
Man.
A number 10, 10 nuggets.
It's genius.
It is genius.
It's like they knew what they were doing.
They don't. Yeah, they know what they're doing. They're killing America. That's
Hey.
exactly what they're doing.
It's a good way to die.
It is a wonderful way to die.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So, like I said, culturally, we're sensitive people, but we're culturally not sensitive. So just keep that in mind during this entire episode here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I don't know either.
I fucking hate this job. But
I just show up when you tell me to.
Right. Hey, you come over? Sure, man.
You want to play?
We're gonna teach you.
Help me find my butt nugget.
I've been looking for this nug all day, dude. I can't find this nug. Oh, man. Rob's like, why don't you try sticking your finger up your butt? Yeah. So what is HIV? And this is from the Center of Disease Control. HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. You're going to learn a lot about AIDS in this episode. So if you know all about AIDS already, you could probably skip past this one.
You're ahead of the curve.
Right. It is the virus that can lead to acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS, as we know it, what Magic Johnson doesn't have, if not treated. Unlike some other viruses, the human body can't get rid of HIV completely, even with treatment. So once you get the HIV, you have to live with it for life. In the prison system, the fellows that did have HIV, they would say that they had the monkey on their back. That's how.
Oh, that's prison talk?
Yeah, it's prison talk for having
Okay.
AIDS. It'd be like, I'd say, like, hey, is that your boyfriend? He'd be like, no, man, that dude got that monkey on his back. And now it makes even more sense because
Then everybody knows not to fuck that guy.
people, well, that doesn't necessarily mean not get fucked. It just
Oh, okay.
means you're rolling the dice on that one.
You can't get HIV if you already have HIV.
You might get a cold you can't get rid of.
It's super HIV at that point.
One day I woke up and I was coughing, and then I started sneezing, and then I fucking died. Kind of how it works.
All right.
HIV attacks the body's immune system, specifically the CD4 cells. I fucking knew that.
T cells.
Yeah, I knew that too. Which helps the immune system fight off infections. Untreated, HIV reduces the number of CD4 cells, T cells, in the body, making person more likely to get other infections or infection-related cancers. Over time, HIV can destroy so many of these cells that the body can't fight off infections and disease. These opportunistic infections or cancers take advantage of a very weak immune system and signal that the person has AIDS, the last stage of HIV infection. Before we go any further, I would like to say thank you and I love you to my amazing wife for buying this majestic fucking cat picture that we have up behind us right here.
Yeah.
It's a fucking cat in a queen suit.
It's pretty great.
It's not my cat. Some people said, is that your cat? No.
No.
You can see this picture on our Facebook page.
It's just a fluffy pussy
It's just an elegant cat.
holding a mouse.
The sad thing is, I have a cat that looks just like that
Yeah,
cat.
she does.
And I fucking hate the cat. It's my kid's cat, and it doesn't
she's
like
mean.
me. No one pays any attention to this cat the entire
She likes
day.
to play on the roof.
Yes.
She does crazy shit.
Just does her own life, man.
It's funny, whenever you posted that picture, there was a comment on there that said, can we talk about the Post Malone doll head in the background?
Yeah.
That's my doing.
That's Rob's doing right there. It's a really nice doll head. They had to get shuffled today. They don't stay up there very well.
I need to update that because I think he got a couple more face tats since I did that
We
one.
can do it. No effective cure currently exists, but with proper medical care, Magic Johnson, HIV can be controlled. The medicine used to treat HIV is called antiretroviral therapy, or ART. ART.
Oh,
I love art.
me too.
I like poop art, where the kids grab a turd out of their diaper and use it on the wall like a fucking Crayola.
Luckily, I never had to deal with that.
Oh, buddy. The very first day that I think it was iPhone 5, the day it launched, when Verizon finally got the iPhone.
Yeah.
It was the iPhone 5, I believe.
Yeah.
And it came in the mail, and the FedEx guy's like, here you go. And I ran out in the driveway and met him. He's like, must be an iPhone. I said, yeah, buddy, I'm gonna fucking kiss you tongue star out of fucking mouth. Big old fucking, 6'7" black dude with arms the size of fucking trash cans.
No, hell yeah.
And I was like, oh, fucking suck you fucking for that goddamn iPhone. And I ran back inside. I'm like, oh, yeah, trying to crack open this iPhone. The house smelled like absolute shit. My wife had left.
So you knew it wasn't her.
Right. Oh, we're not going to get into her. She does a very good job of smelling wonderful all the time. Let's just say that way. Put it that way. So I go in my daughter's room, and she's standing up in her crib. She had taken and ladled shit out of her diaper and just wiped it down the walls all over her. She's
Was
about,
this daughter number 2?
no, this is the oldest one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was about 2 at this time. So she was cracking off lumberjack shits. Chicken
Right.
nuggets, macaroni and cheese,
Oh, hell yeah.
mashed potatoes. So when she pooped, it was like a 70-year-old man shitting his pants. She wiped it all over everything. And I'm like,
Nice.
I just want some time. So the first picture I took with my first iPhone was her beautiful girl-themed room covered in brown poop.
Oh, man, R.I.P.
From that moment on, that I will protect you. I am your protector. I will take care of you. Yeah.
That'd be a good hearty log.
Dude, it was infinite. I think she still had, and I took the diaper off. She could have painted the living room too. She was not going to run out.
Didn't even need a second coat.
No, Jesus. No effective cure currently exists, but with proper medical care, HIV can be controlled. The medicine used to treat HIV is called, I already read this fucking part.
Yeah, you did.
If it stays undetectable, they can live long, healthy lives and have effectively no risk of transmitting HIV to an HIV-negative partner through the sex. Before the introduction of art in the mid-1990s, people with HIV could progress to AIDS in just a few years. Today, someone diagnosed with HIV and treated before the disease is far advanced can live nearly as long as someone who does not have HIV. So that's the thing. Just fucking wing it, man. With today's science and medicine, you're going to be all right. You're going to take some pills every day. But just go for it. Don't let love change your story, okay? If it's love, just go looking for that nugget.
Protect your buttholes, though.
And if you are a man that's possibly looking for another man, I want you to try this in public this week. I did a science experiment once, and it did work. Just walk up to guys you think would like to have their nugget looked for and say, I want to look for your nugget.
Dude, if somebody uses that as a pickup line,
I want to look for your nugget.
I might spread my cheeks if someone says that.
And you just turn like, what do you mean, my nugget? The nugget in your butt. Your butt nugget. What's that thing called? What's the butt nugget called?
Your prostate, dog.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, man.
I thought it's something different. I thought it was like a clitoris, like a butt clitoris.
Your butt pussy. You gotta really get into my butt pussy.
Oh, I'll just shit my butt pussy again.
My butt cunt. We underutilize the word cunt.
Yeah, I think it's a nasty word.
I love it. It's so dirty.
I think it's very nasty.
Yeah, it is.
Inappropriate, ineffective. Don't like it.
It's just so vulgar.
Would not recommend. It is vulgar. That's why when I say something's moist.
That's so gross, too.
Yes. People don't like that. It doesn't bother me, but cunt word, I just don't like it. That's an American. That's why I'm a fucking American. We don't say that word unless you mean business.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I do use the word a lot while I'm driving, though. A lot. So where did HIV come from? Where did that beer come from you're drinking, Rob? Tell them.
I don't know, the store.
What kind of beer is it?
Urban Artifact. It's my favorite brewery.
What flavor is it?
This is Trevette. This is a cranberry lemonade goza. Delightful.
Oh, man. That sounds like
Urban
something.
Artifact has like the best, like all their beers are pretty much sours and they're all delicious.
Yeah. Sounds good. So where did this shit come from? HIV. That monkey on your motherfucking back. That nugget destroyer. Scientists identified a type of chimpanzee.
Okay.
This is where it turns bad, guys. In Central Africa as the source of HIV infections in humans.
Yeah, so someone was fucking a monkey.
No, that's not it.
The monkey was fucking someone.
No, that's not it either.
Okay, darn. Bubbles?
Monkeys, chimpanzees. They're fucking strong, man.
Oh, yeah.
Big, strong motherfuckers.
They're solid muscle.
So I can imagine getting down with a monkey would probably be fun. Just to get manhandled like that. Just get one of them big old hairy titties in your mouth and hold on.
You ever seen how fast they can fuck?
A monkey or a chimpanzee?
Oh, a monkey. I'm thinking like more smaller monkeys.
Yeah. I mean, I think...
Dude, they go crazy.
A chimp would do some long dicking. Like,
oh, yeah. They got tiny dicks, though.
We have like... Yeah.
There we go. Whoop.
Yeah, that's really loud. That's some chimpanzee fucking music right there.
Every time a chimp fucks, that's what plays.
I like it.
Automatically. It's like from the heavens.
Now, they believe that the chimpanzee version of the immunodeficiency virus, called simian immunodeficiency virus, or SIV, most likely was transmitted to humans and mutated into HIV when humans hunted these chimpanzees for meat and came into contact with their infected blood.
Dude, could you imagine eating monkey meat? It's probably stringy and...
Oh, dude, it'd be like eating a human. That's disgusting.
Yeah, right. Because their muscle structures just like ours.
You want chicken parm? No. Italian subs? No. Pizza? No. My kids yelling for me?
They're yelling for somebody.
I don't know. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, well. You want to have some chimpanzee for dinner, kids?
Yeah!
Yeah, that sounds really good. That sounds really nice.
Man, this would have been way better if they just fucked them.
The monkey, the chimpanzees and stuff?
Eating a chimp, man.
No.
Fucking it's one thing, but eating it.
Oh, you mean like ingesting the meat? I thought you were talking about cunnilingus on a chimpanzee.
Oh, no.
They wouldn't hold still for that shit.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, you remember that one fucking wild one that drove the tow truck around that we covered in the, the 911 episode?
We went to a zoo one time down in Florida whenever we go. There's this little zoo that we always go to because you can get super close to these fuckers. And as we were walking by, all of us, as me, my wife, and the 3 boys were walking by, and this one's out of nowhere. I don't know where it finds it. I think I may have told the story before. It finds a rat. And it grabs it by the tail, and it smashes it into the concrete, and it beats it to death with
Oh.
And I was like, holy shit.
Okay, we took like a half-hour sabbatical right there. My wife made pot roast and cookies.
It was delightful.
There is no chance of us making it the rest of this episode without passing away.
Definitely not.
I feel great.
Bring it on.
Kitty cat hair on my beard, or on my microphone. Okay, where were we? All right. U.S. government. Killing all of the gay people. We're going to get to that theory, because that's really what some people believe.
Okay.
But we're still at chimpanzees. Studies show that HIV may have jumped from apes to humans as far back as the late 1800s. Over decades, the virus slowly spread across Africa and later into other parts of the world. We know that the virus has existed in the U.S. since at least the mid to late 1970s. There are, I believe, 3 stages to HIV. When people get HIV and don't receive treatment, they will typically progress through 3 stages of the disease. Medicine to treat HIV, known as antiretroviral therapy, we just need to start saying art.
Yeah.
Helps people at all stages of the disease if taken as prescribed. Treatment can slow or prevent progression.
Oh, wow.
Microphone fall right there.
Yeah, flaccid mic stand.
Floppy.
Yeah.
If you think you have AIDS, go get tested. And if you do have it, get treated for it.
Yeah, get some art.
Quit nugget surfing for a few days. Quit looking for the nugs. Just give it some time to percolate. Okay?
That's a good word.
Percolating?
Yeah.
Don't even know what it means.
Me
I think
either.
I used it in the right context, though. I feel like I did. Percolating. The first stage is the acute HIV infection.
Oh, that's cute.
Within 2 to 4 weeks, it's not cute.
Oh, okay.
It's not like you're thinking, Rob Dog.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Within 2 to 4 weeks after the infection, many people experience flu-like illnesses, which may last for a few weeks. So those of you out there that think you have the flu right now, it's probably not the flu. It's definitely full-blown fucking AIDS.
Probably HIV.
We've just got 1,000 people hopping on WebMD right now.
Oh, shit.
Do I have AIDS?
And that shit's going around, too, right now. Bad.
AIDS?
Not AIDS, but the flu.
You sound like some fucking guy in the back of an alley. It's going around. What's going around, mister? Fucking AIDS. The fucking monkey disease. This is the body's natural response to the infection. When people have acute HIV infection, they have a large amount of virus in their blood and are very contagious. But people with acute infection are often unaware that they're infected because they may not feel sick right away or at all. Stage 2, clinical latency. This period is sometimes called asymptomatic HIV infection or chronic HIV infection. During this phase, HIV is still active but reproduces at very low levels. So you can, I would say Magic Johnson's probably hanging out in stage 2 for sure. But stage 3, that's when you're fucked. That's full blown. That's when it turns into AIDS. It's the most severe phase of HIV infection. People with AIDS have such badly damaged immune systems they can't fight anything off. They get a cold, they fucking die. They get the flu, they fucking die. Anything, they get the HIV, they die. So
that'd be the worst.
I wonder if you have AIDS, if you can get HIV all over again. It's just like I
don't know if it's backwards compatible.
That's something I'm going to ask my family doctor next time I see him.
So, I'm curious.
Quick question, Doc.
If I have AIDS, can I get HIV again?
I met this guy. He was rooting around for a nugget.
He was digging in my mine shaft.
We were rooting for nuggets on each other.
Found my cream spot.
Yeah. Remember that one time you stuck your finger in my butt, Doc? And I cummed on your table? That's one thing I'm not looking forward to. Rob never goes to the doctor.
No.
I go for biannually checkups because I like to live.
I don't.
The first time that I think it's 40 when they start to check your prostate. My doctor played college football.
Yeah.
And he's got hands like motherfucking frying pans. This guy's huge.
Got them Brock Lesnar
Yes.
fucking turkey hands.
And the first time he has to check me, I'm going to bend over and take it like a champ. I'm going to get really drunk before I go in so I don't feel it.
Spread your butt real wide.
And then when he goes to pull his hand out, I'm going to grab his wrist and keep him from pulling his finger out. Keep it fucking in there. I'm almost done. Keep it fucking in there.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine? He tries to pull it out, take his glove off, and you just grab your wrist and turn around, grab his wrist and turn around. It's like, no, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, jeez.
My doctor listens to this show too, so he's gonna be ready for this.
He's already ready.
I heard on a podcast you want me to keep my fucking finger in your butt for as long as possible. That wouldn't be awkward at all. Without treatment, people with AIDS typically survive about 3 years. Common symptoms of AIDS include chills, got 'em, fever, got 'em, sweats, got 'em, swollen lymph glands. Can someone come check my glands for me? Weakness, definitely got that, and weight loss. Okay, I'm in the clear here. I don't have AIDS. I'm good to
Cleared
go.
by the last one.
So there was an emergence of an epidemic in America at some point where the HIV/AIDS started to. Oh my God!
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry about that. That was my mom calling me. Yeah, I don't have anything funny to say to her, else I'd have her on the show.
I was going to say.
And my phone's about to die. So
No, okay.
last time she was on here, we asked her what we ask her?
We were talking to her about.
I want your poop.
Yeah, I want your poop. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't answer it in time. Sorry. Maybe we'll have my mom on some other time.
Okay.
She's a wonderful interview.
I'm sure she could tell funny stories of you when you were a kid.
Yeah, she has no idea what's going on. Her favorite story of me is we were in a seafood restaurant, and we were on vacation with a couple other families, and they put the kids with the teenagers, and they put the adults with the adults, and we were sitting a couple tables away from one another, and I stood up on my chair, and I was like, Mom! Mom! And she didn't hear me. She wasn't looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
So I stood on the fucking table like an animal, and I'm like, Mom! And then she finally looks at me, and she's like, what? Like, get the fuck down. I'm like,
right.
Did you have crabs? Because I saw people like with the crab legs, and they were pulling like the fucking thing in the back to make it go rah rah rah. You know, like it's trying to eat something. And I wanted one, so I screamed across this place was packed out to the gills too, man. I'm like, Mom, you got crabs. I heard her. Put her in a body bag right there. So we have an emergence of an epidemic at this point. The AIDS became a crisis rather quickly.
The AIDS?
The AIDS became a problem and a crisis exceptionally fast. In the summer of 1981, and this is where all this stuff starts to get really weird.
Good old 81.
I don't remember what I was doing in 81.
I was in someone's balls.
Yeah.
Cooking around, I think that's how that works.
It is. In the summer of 81, the CDC published its first reports describing a rare cancer, Kaposi sarcoma, found in homosexual men living in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York City.
All right.
So, a cancer that only affects gay men. That seems a little sketchy to me. Right. My wife is coming in with...
thank you.
What is that? For what?
Not
Why?
for you.
Why?
Not for you.
Why would you give all that food to him?
She likes me more.
I put in a lot of hours for this food.
For me to just come in and swoop it up.
Yeah, those are probably for Beverly.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. I love you.
Thank you.
She just brought Rob a lot of food.
Yeah.
Completely unfair. That's a lot of cookies.
That is a lot of cookies.
That's all of them.
And they were really soft, too.
Have I ever told you the story? I hate to get off track again.
It's all right.
Of when I urinated at the...
Yes, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, baseball field. Yeah.
Have I told that story in the show before?
I think so.
All right. No, I just won't tell it. I just couldn't remember.
If not, just tell it again, just in case.
I was in San Francisco,
Yeah.
and I went to the baseball game. And my MO at all these ballparks, I would pull my pants and my underwear down to around my ankles when I pissed, exposing my rear end at the urinal.
As a little boy would do.
Yes, ultimate power move as a grown man.
Yes.
Especially the fact that my body produces no hair. I've got a svelte ass. There's nothing.
Lucky.
Yeah, I have like
I am the complete opposite.
nothing. My friends had so much armpit hair, and you were one of them. You guys had all really nice, matted, disgusting armpit hair in high school. And I had nothing.
I hate it.
I was just looking, it was like a fat fucking crescent roll underneath my arm.
Yeah.
And I'm at this ballpark, and I pull my pants and my underwear around my ankles to piss. Ultimate power move, like I said.
Yeah.
And I would do this at all the ballparks, and everyone would be like, man, what the fuck, man? God damn it, dude.
They just thought you were special needs.
What's this fucking guy doing? Yeah, and I would pick up a urinal cake and take a bite out like a fucking Oreo. No, I didn't do that. But I did this in San Francisco, and I had one friend that went with me, and he would just always, he'd be several urinals away, and he would just laugh at all these dudes just like, what the fuck, man? And he was laughing in San Francisco, and the guy next to me, he looked over at me. He didn't look down at my dick. He just turned his head while he's pissing and I'm pissing, and he just said, I wouldn't do that here. So
such a wise man.
I'm looking back now. He was saving me from AIDS. What a fantastic gentleman.
Yeah.
Thank you, mister, for saving me from AIDS.
Thank you, mystery man.
Yeah. And by the end of the year, 121 of the by the end of the year, 121 of the individuals with the disease of the 270 reported cases had died. That is a high mortality rate right there, buddy.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Research determined that acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS, has been the cause of their deaths, and in 1982, the CDC began to refer to the disease as AIDS. Right, so AIDS and HIV, not the same thing.
No.
In September of 83, the CDC ruled out transmission of AIDS by casual contact. So you
can't shake someone's hand and.
Well, there was scores of people in the world that thought that if you sat on a fucked up toilet seat, you would get it, or a water fountain, stuff like that you would get the AIDS, which was not the case. You had to go nugget surfing to get AIDS from another person.
Or blood on blood, right?
Yep, blood on blood.
Can't be blood brothers.
Dirty fucking needles and stuff,
Yeah.
and it was called the Junkie Disease as well because a lot of people that utilized intravenous drugs, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
They would
share needles.
Share the dirty needles, man.
Don't ever do that.
Me and my dad used to share a catheter growing up because we would sit there and watch Bob Saget, America's Funniest Home Videos. Didn't feel like getting up and pissing, so we would just share catheters.
I get that. That's his impressions and everything were impeccable.
Yeah, they were.
You can't ever miss those.
Hey, pass me the catheter, Nick.
And this goes without saying, but if you're gonna do heroin, do it responsibly. Use your own needle.
There's places that have like watch centers now where you go inject in front of a medical professional. Did you know that?
What the fuck? Are you serious?
I swear to God,
that has to be here in Ohio.
I think it might be Kentucky,
Yeah,
but I think they do it in California as well. You can go; they have facilities you go to. They'll provide you with a clean needle, a clean room, and a medical professional to watch you do it to make sure you're not fucking yourself up. Look it up, dude. That's completely true.
That's wild.
I think it's California.
It probably is California.
That's they definitely know how to party out there.
Yeah, they do.
We got doctors to watch us shoot up. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Oh God!
I'm all for legalizing all the drugs.
No, not the really fucking bad ones.
Fuck it.
No.
Let people go down the rabbit hole if they want to. Let them go.
I don't feel like that's correct.
Let them go.
I do not feel like that's correct, sir.
Just let them do it.
I am gonna let these people come tell you that you're wrong.
At least you know you won't be getting fentanyl stuff, though.
Subject, Rob, you're wrong. Brohiopodcast @gmail.com. Let him know he's wrong.
Fuck it.
I think marijuana you should be able to,
There's no reason that it shouldn't be.
I think marijuana should be legal before alcohol should be.
Definitely.
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
Do you know it was only ever deemed illegal in the first place because big tobacco?
It makes sense, yeah.
They were pushing it as a drug. It was something like the drug that was Mexicans were using and raping people, like raping American women on.
It was like Trump's campaign.
For real.
Some of you are probably wondering about marijuana. It's going to be huge.
Fucking weird, man.
Make 2020 great. Make it terrible. Make it whatever you want.
You legalize everything. Let's have a fucking party.
So you couldn't get AIDS from water.
I really don't feel like that, though. I'm just trolling.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for clearing that up.
I'm totally trolling.
You're about to get AIDS. By 1984, human HIV, was identified as the agent that caused AIDS. In the early and mid-1980s, rumors of a gay disease, or the gay plague.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's what we have.
The gay plague.
Have you ever listened to the Brohio podcast? Yeah, the two guys with the gay plague? Yeah, they're fucking terrible. They make fun of everybody. They don't fucking care about anything. They're stupid. They don't fucking realize what they're doing. But they got the gay plague, so they're going to die soon. It doesn't matter if I like them or not. They're stupid.
The gay plague.
They're idiots.
Oh, man. Frogs hopping out of your asshole. Locusts flying out of your dick.
You fart and a fucking sorcerer takes shape next to you like a 2-foot tall mud sorcerer.
Hello there, gay boy. You got 3 wishes. Who do you want in your ass now?
Oh, jeez. They call me Merlin the Turdlin. Fucking sorcerer made of poop. That sounds fun.
That's a good one, yeah.
Oh, although AIDS is... I'm sorry. The gay plague.
There you go.
Which was misrepresenting AIDS as a threat only to homosexual men. Yes, which is very true.
Yeah.
Although AIDS is most prevalent among men who have sex with men, or as we like to call it, nugget surfing, HIV may be contracted through blood, semen, pre-ejaculate.
I'm fucked.
Vaginal fluids and breast milk.
Sign me up for that breast milk, dog.
When I was a kid and I first started doing things that involved me getting an erection.
Hey, send us your breast milk. It's P.O. Box. No,
please don't do that. I don't check it enough for it to not stink.
Oh, dude, that would be so bad.
Yeah. Curdled breast milk.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no. Okay, so you can get AIDS from pre-ejaculate. And I thought pre-ejaculate was going to be a huge downfall in my life growing up.
Yeah.
Because I was the king of the wet spot.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. Had no idea what it was at first. I was like, why is it like this? I didn't go all the way. I didn't take it to the limit.
You get a boner for a good, 3 minutes, and you're starting to leak a little bit.
It's burping. Yeah.
It's burping.
Getting the water burps. Getting them juicy burps. Like my kids burp, and they stand there, and they just look like they're scared, and I'll say, what's wrong? And they're like, I burped, and I puked, and I swallowed it.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's a very hot sensation, I do believe, yes. The first clinics, support groups, and community-based service providers opened in San Francisco and New York City in 1982. Gay rights activists undertook initiatives promoting education about safer sex and countering discrimination against AIDS. That's good.
Very good.
Condoms. Abstinence. Being really fucking ugly. In these early years, there was no treatment for AIDS, and friends and family members could only comfort the dying. Oh, man, that's sad. In the 1980s, fear of the HIV/AIDS spread, and discrimination against people living with AIDS was common. The nation was torn between sympathy for the afflicted and fear that disease might spread in the general population. Gay activists, HIV-positive individuals, and their allies battled job, school, and housing discrimination. So,
probably because they fucking called it the gay plague.
Yeah. Because here you make $1,500 a month. Drive a blue Toyota. It also says here that you have the gay plague. We're definitely not letting you move in here.
Yeah.
That would be terrible. You
Absolutely
couldn't even
horrible.
You get sick and you can't even find a place to live. Well, fuck those landlords. Those guys are probably all dead and fucking gone now. So
yeah, I'm sure they are.
You got what you had coming to you, you old fucker.
Fuck them.
In 1985, Ryan White, a 13-year-old hemophiliac, I don't know what that is, who had contracted AIDS from a blood transfusion, was banned from his middle school in Indiana. Yeah, that is something they would do in Indiana. Fucking Justin Rimmel state. Out of fear that he would pass HIV to his classmates.
Damn.
Holy shit. After a year-long court battle, Ryan was allowed to return to school. He passed away in 1990. In the prison system, they're not allowed to tell you which guys have AIDS. They're not allowed to tell you which guys are HIV positive. It's against the law. It's the HIPAA Act here in America. They can't divulge these things. But I do remember one time we had to do a cell extraction, and I was one of the last guys in, and it was in a very small cell. And once the first 5 or 6 guys went in, there wasn't enough room for me to get in, so I just kind of stood there and waited. They beat this fucking guy until he was squirting blood on the walls and the ceiling. This dude looked like a fucking pumpkin when it was done. His head was like lopsided and shit. They fucked him up bad. They broke his orbital.
Oh fuck!
They hit him in the jaw so hard it bit his tip of his tongue off. There was blood everywhere, and but he greased himself up with like petroleum jelly.
Yeah.
So finally, there at the end, they bring him out and he just collapses, and he's too greasy to and he falls into my arms, and I get covered in blood, just dude, from like the bottom of my mouth. I couldn't tell if it went in my mouth or not, and just all the way down me, and I'm like, oh my fucking god! I mean, this dude was leaking bad, and we went to the infirmary, and I'm standing there, I'm getting all the blood taken off me and stuff. And they have his medical file out, and they're not allowed to tell us. And I said to the nurse, I'm like, what do I need to do? And she's like, she wouldn't look at me. And I'm like, what the fuck do I need to do? Because if you come in contact with hepatitis or HIV, there's almost like I don't know the process. It's almost like a chemotherapy / blood transfusion thing they do to try and keep this shit from attaching itself to you and making you ill with it.
Oh, God.
And she's like, okay, how much blood did you get in your mouth? And I was like, I don't think I got any blood in my mouth. She's like, how much blood do you think you got in your mouth? And dude, that was the scariest 6 months of my life after that. The fact that, come to find out, he was HIV positive. I finally, one day in the infirmary, I found out. I'm not gonna say how I found out, or even if I'm telling the truth by saying that I found out. But motherfucker, I found out. Okay, and I had the state paid for continuous tests and stuff like that, and I was obviously negative the entire way. But and I've been tested since then. But you want to talk about being scared terrifying. Stiff, man. Absolutely terrifying. And I went to a cell, and a few months after that, and I said, hey, man, I got covered in your blood. Do you have anything? I asked him straight up. And he's like, I don't know, bruh. They make me drink and the people that had HIV, they would make him drink Ensure at the pill call. And he said, they make me drink Ensures at the pill call. I was like, God fucking damn it, dude. I was afraid to kiss my kids. I was afraid to do anything. I was afraid to make sweet love to my wife, but I didn't have anything. Thank God. So it's scary. I mean, people don't realize that's one of the things you have to deal with when you work in that that setting. It's one thing that can change in an instant. It's pretty scary stuff. So there was the death of Hollywood actor Rock Hudson. Who's that?
I was going to say the same exact thing.
I can't believe they put Hollywood next to this guy's name.
Yeah, Hollywood actor. They could have just said actor.
Yeah, for complications related to AIDS in 1985. That drew public attention to the disease, as did the 1993 death of tennis star Arthur Ashe.
Tennis star?
He was good.
That's two things that have never been put in the same sentence.
In 1981, basketball great Irvin Magic Johnson announced that he was living with AIDS. Religious and political conservatives often spoke harshly about individuals with AIDS. Patrick Buchanan, a senior advisor to Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan, and a conservative commentator, wrote in 1984 that homosexuals, quote, have declared war upon nature, and now nature is exacting an awful retribution.
Oh, God, I hate idiots.
And this was common thinking at that time.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've progressed as a country since then. But fuck you, Patrick Buchanan. Is he dead?
I hope.
Let's look it up real quick. We've got the internet. I paid the fucking bill last week, so I know it's going to work. Is he dead? Patrick Buchanan is an American. Nope, he's still alive.
Nah, fuck him.
So you guys can go to his website, buchanan.org. Tell him you hope he fucking dies. Jesus, man.
He looks like his last name would be Buchanan.
It does. Probably wrote us the Dan Brown letter way back in the day. In October of 1987, during a march on Washington, D.C. for gay rights, a giant AIDS quilt with panels celebrating the lives of people that the disease had claimed was displayed on the National Mall as a memorial to those who had died. And to all the wonderful listeners of Brohio Nation, it was a very busy sports weekend. The Ohio State Buckeyes lost to the Clemson. What are the Clemson guys? The Clemson Tigers? I don't know what they are. It was miserable, guys. There was a 2-point spread. Vegas had Clemson at 2-point favorites against my Buckeyes. But it happened. If you knew it was going to happen, if you were like me and you braced yourself for the absolute worst, well, have I got the job and the opportunity for you. Between football season, NBA, and the start of college basketball season, it's time to get off the sideline and get in on the action with my bookie. If you're like me and you're kind of good at this stuff, you know who's going to win. You can take a little bit of cash and you can turn it into a lot of cash. What I'm saying, if you join mybookie.ag right now, they'll match your deposit halfway. That's right. They're going to take whatever you deposit. If you give them $50, they're going to give you $25 free to bet with. If you give them $100, they're going to give you $50 free to bet with. They're going to match your original deposit halfway. All you have to do is use the promo code BROHIO to activate this wonderful offer from mybookie.ag. That is promo code BROHIO. You got to go to mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. So along comes Reagan, and also we still have the AIDS crisis going on. The first congressional hearings were convened on AIDS in 1982, and the next year Congress allocated $12 million for AIDS research and treatment. Within 7 years, in response to the efforts of gay activists and healthcare professionals, the federal government was committing hundreds of millions of dollars for research, education, care services, and treatment. Thank you, Ronald Reagan. Activists condemned President Ronald Reagan for his public silence on AIDS during his first term.
It's your first term, man. You know how much shit you're getting into your first term?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't tackle everything.
Now, thanks to their advocacy, President Reagan issued an executive order in his second term establishing the President's Commission on the HIV epidemic and signed legislation that increased federal funding for research and education. And this was up to $500 million for this funding. Oof, not much. The fucking grand scheme of things. In 1987, the FDA approved the drug AZT, which inhibits HIV and delays the onset of AIDS. By 1989, Louis Sullivan, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, could say, "Today we are witnessing a turning point in the battle to change AIDS from fatal disease to a treatable one." So, AIDS is certainly still a problem. Not necessarily as bad as it was in the late 70s and early to mid 80s, but we still have a problem. AIDS, there have been 1.6 million cases and nearly 700,000 deaths between 1980 and 2014. The CDC reports that there are about 50,000 new incidents of HIV infection each year in the U.S. today. In 2012, about 1.2 million people in the United States were living with HIV. So the shit's still out there.
Still a lot of people.
Yes, but they're living, they're surviving, they're doing their thing. With all this wonderful information about AIDS, we've explained its history, we've explained how it affects your body, we've explained how America approached it. Begs the question, is it real? Well, it's definitely real.
Definitely.
People are definitely dying from AIDS.
Yep.
Was the HIV virus created in a lab and purposely given to a certain demographic of people to eradicate them from the earth? And that's what some pundits believe, that it was created in a lab with the specific purpose to wipe out the male homosexual population in America and also the African American population. But this thing was... There was an epidemic in Africa as well, and they're certainly still dealing with that a lot more so than America is.
Yeah.
There's a thought process here, and there's some evidence to back it up, that maybe this isn't what we think it is. Maybe it's something the fucking U.S. government is... Not them, though.
Never.
Not our U.S. government.
No.
Not our Jeff Epstein killing government.
I don't think they would ever do anything like that.
Okay. Now it's... our job, the Bros of Brohio.
I stand with my country.
I do. I love ice cream, so I'll stay here as long as they keep serving ice cream.
Yeah.
But we're about to completely fuck this shit up right now.
All right.
We're going nugget surfing.
Going nugget surfing in the cream spot.
The problem with the sudden appearance of AIDS in the 1980s, it caused a lot of debate about where it came from. Vampires, monkeys, vampire monkeys.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Only thing scarier than vampires or monkeys are goddamn vampire monkeys. You ever dealt with those before?
Never.
No, you haven't, because they're not fucking real, Rob. That's made up shit.
That'd be pretty sweet, though.
It would be. I would have one.
I would.
There's also where could have come from? Crackheads, British rock and roll singers.
Ooh, that's scarier than vampire monkeys.
Los Angeles Lakers, power forwards, point guards. I don't know. Where could it have originated? It left a lot of room for conspiracies. Or were they conspiracies? Was the AIDS virus possibly something concocted by our own government? So like we stated above, the general consensus by the media and talking heads from the CDC, and we got this, a lot of people are just like, got this shit from fucking monkeys? Like, that, I've heard of people eating weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
But chimpanzees, that's like half a chromosome away from being a fucking person.
Right.
And we eat each other occasionally.
It happens.
Jeffrey Dahmer, hell of a guy.
Yeah.
Hell of a cook.
Usually bath salts are involved, but
They help.
they do.
They'll help you get through it.
They help you get through the gamey taste.
They'll help you chew through it. So, we got the simian immunodeficiency virus. And this is where the SIV that the monkeys had. And this is where it all starts to get sketchy. Not the sketchiest that it gets, but this is where it starts to get sketchy. This would all make perfect sense if the first cases of HIV and AIDS was coming from wherever the monkeys were. But it wasn't. The first tangible reports were all originating exclusively from the homosexual community in New York City. And let me tell you how many fucking chimpanzees there are to fuck in New York City. Probably about 3 of them, and you're going to have to go through some shit to get them at the zoo.
Yeah, definitely.
And that begs the question, how did it get here? If the first reports are in New York City, and they say it came from monkeys,
Yeah.
put 2 and 2 together, it doesn't make sense. And the true biological phenomenon that it was, no one has ever been able to explain it fully. So here we have a virus, a sexually transmitted, blood-borne virus that has never been a thing in Africa, and it just starts killing all the young gay fellas in New York City.
Oh, good New York. Way to go.
New York, you fucking ruin it.
Way to fucking go, man.
But that's... You gotta put this in your brain for a second. This stuff has never been heard of before. It's not even a thing. And then all of a sudden, it just starts killing young gay men in New York City.
It's weird.
It doesn't make sense.
Hey, buddy, ever since I ate that chimpanzee last week, I can't even go outside and fart without getting the flu.
I got really sick after I sucked your dick the other day. How many monkeys have you eaten recently? I need to know for my doctor. I need to know how many monkeys you've eaten to know if I have AIDS or not. I've eaten monkeys before, and I'm fine. So that tells me that this is a conspiracy theory. In 1970, there was a cell enzyme discovered called reverse transcriptase by Howard Timmon.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's a
That sounds
one.
stupid.
In David, Baltimore. This allowed molecular biologists the ability to detect retroviruses in certain types of animal cancers. I'm going to say this again. This was in 1970. This is before we fucking had AIDS, okay? The first case of AIDS, roughly 1978, 1980. In 1970, they find this cell enzyme called reverse transcriptase. This allowed molecular biologists the ability to detect retroviruses in certain types of animal cancers.
Mm-hmm.
They could find these genes, normally in animals, and manipulate the genes to create great detrimental effects to animals' immune systems. Then they could perform something called species jumping, where they could move the viruses from one animal to another, eventually adapting the virus to affect humans.
And why in the world would this ever need to be a thing?
Well,
You know what? Fuck this monkey in particular.
this is all, it's all part of a process here. So this fucking stuff comes from the monkeys. This retrovirus stuff. We should have gave the smoke pot disclaimer for this episode. 'Cause
Please.
It's wild. But these biologists were working on something along the lines of all of this long before AIDS even started. To help combat cancer, Nixon started the war on cancer, where genetic engineering of viruses was all these scientists did. At some point during this war on cancer and all of these scientific testings and clinical trials and all this shit, the war on cancer, the Army's Biological Warfare Unit at Fort Detrick, Maryland, transferred to the U.S. National Cancer Institute.
Okay.
These guys are researching cancer, but all of a sudden they need the fucking Biological Warfare Unit from the Army.
Yeah. Let's just slap this on your plate, too. We know you're dealing with a big heaping portion of cancer.
Why would they need them, though? That is my question. Why would they need these guys?
Right.
This is the perfect opportunity for experimentation and an easy way to cover it up so no one would fuck with them. In 1973, a conference entitled Biohazards in Biological Research held at Aslamar near Pacific Grove in California, they talked about what if all of this stuff that we're conjuring up in the labs, what if these viruses get loose and they infect the entire country, they infect the entire population, and suddenly we have an epidemic? Because they knew this was a problem. They knew this is something they needed to talk about with all this genetic testing, all this research, and the stuff that they were creating. And during this conference, they said, well, we know it's a problem, but we're not going to worry about it. That's all they determined at this conference. And flash forward a few years to 1978, the efforts going along with the war against cancer and the virus cancer program proved to be completely fruitless. So this big war on cancer campaign that Nixon had started, the Biological Warfare Unit, all of this research from the National Cancer Institute, 5 years of research. They say, well, we didn't accomplish anything. This thing's up. We're all done. We're all done with the war on cancer. We're all done researching this shit. We don't need it anymore. Yada, yada. Throw it out the fucking window. Close up the shop. Lock the fucking doors. Get out of here. In 1978, about the exact same time that they closed up the shop at the research facility on this cancer research, is when the government scientists were also enrolling only thousands of gay men in New York City to serve as guinea pigs in the hepatitis B experiment that took place that same year at the New York Blood Center in Manhattan. So the exact same time that this cancer stuff, the research for it stops, these flyers start going up. It says, last chance for gay men to join the hepatitis B vaccine program.
I love how it's just a man's torso.
In an asterisk, it says a sexually transmitted disease. Enrollment closes in June, after which the vaccine may not be available for several years. Take the free blood test to determine your hepatitis B status and eligibility for the program. And this is from the New York Blood Center. They did this clinical test vaccinations in 1978. This was the same year they closed the shit up on the war on cancer at these labs.
So they're just like, fuck it, they already got hepatitis. Let's give them AIDS too.
Well, they're trying to develop a Hep B vaccination. It's not that these guys have Hep B. It's that they're simply trying to develop a vaccination. And part of developing a vaccination, you need a live
test subject.
Yeah, well, not a test. You need hepatitis B.
Yeah,
that's like when you have a vaccine shot into you, you're having like live shit shot into you. Whether it's like you need the flu to make a flu shot,
right?
Okay, you need hepatitis B to make a hepatitis B vaccination. So they do these clinical trials in 1978. In 1979, the first cases of AIDS in gay men were reported in New York City. Less than a fucking year, Rob, after these clinical trials started. 5 years later, scientists that worked on the cancer project, so you go back to Nixon's war on cancer, one of the scientists that worked on that project, they said, no, we can't, we've made no progress on the cancer shit. He magically discovers what HIV actually was, and he goes publicly with it. His name's Robert Gallo, but he comes out and says, oh, I know what this is. This is HIV. He's the one that discovers the shit and knows exactly what it is. And he was on the cancer research, the cancer research with the Nixon shit. And one huge connection here, the vaccination they were trying out on these poor fellows was developed in chimpanzees.
Well,
ew.
It's a vicious cycle.
Chimpanzees, they make the noises?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I make all kinds of really good noises. I have lots of good impressions.
Been practicing for years.
I can do a really good Mickey Mouse. Hiya, Paul. It's me, Mickey Mouse. Kids love that one. They do all kinds of good stuff. The ancestors, so they developed this vaccination for hepatitis B, and they developed it in chimpanzees, the preliminary testings, which, might I add, is the ancestor and the carrier of the origin virus of HIV. And an even bigger connection here, in these clinical hepatitis B vaccination trials, these guys were getting injected at the New York Blood Center. Oh, this is fucking wild. Okay. I can't even. The New York Blood Center, or the NYBC, the New York Big Cock, is the largest independent blood supplier and distributor in the U.S. And in 1970, Alfred M. Prince, MD, head of the NYBC, or the New York Blood Center Laboratory of Virology, began his hepatitis research with chimpanzees, housed at the Laboratory for Experimental Medicine and Surgery in downstate Tuxedo, New York.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Until it disbanded in 1997, LEMSIP, or the Laboratory for Experimental Medicine and Surgery, they supply the New York area scientists with primates and primate parts for transplantation and virus research.
Primate parts.
Duh. So the blood center, where these guys are getting injected with these hepatitis B vaccinations, they buy fucking monkey parts to test this stuff out on, and the AIDS virus comes from monkeys. There's a monkey vendor that
monkey vendor.
They have arms and legs.
They're just slinging monkeys,
dicks,
monkey parts,
kidneys, lungs. They just sell monkey parts. I've went to the store to buy a monkey wrench before. Never have I went to the store to buy a monkey scrotal sack. Oh, give me them monkey nuts up there. I'll take that monkey wrench.
Just like in the shows, and you got some random skeevy guy in a back alley with a trench coat, and he opens it up, and he's just full of monkey parts.
I got the leftover monkey toes over here. So where they're getting injected with this hepatitis, where they're going for these tests, these guys, they're peddling monkey. They're buying monkeys to test the shit out on, and the HIV virus came from the chimpanzees. Oh, God. In 1974, the doctor we're talking about, Prince, with the support of Aaron Kellner, president of the New York Blood Center, moved the chimp hepatitis research to a new primate center called VLab 2 in Robertsfield, Liberia, in Africa.
Here we go.
Another place where there's a huge epidemic of AIDS.
Yeah.
Chimps were captured from various parts of West Africa and brought to VLab. The lab also prides itself by releasing rehabilitated chimps back into the wild.
Yeah, they all got fucking HIV now.
Hey, I never
For
seen
Civ.
you before. What are you doing? Oh, I'm back out here in the trees. I'm rehabilitated.
You got all these monkeys fucking, and then, man.
And one cannot help but wonder if some of the purported ancestors of HIV in the African bush have their origin in chimpanzees held in African primate labs for vaccine and medical experimentation. God, this came from people eating monkeys. It didn't come from people eating monkeys. They made this shit. What's a monkey taste like? Oh, bananas? I don't know what a fucking monkey tastes like. It tastes like a monkey. We don't know because we don't eat monkeys.
Oh, gosh.
The Hep B experiment was considered a...
Tastes like bananas.
I ate a monkey. It tastes like a banana split. I ate the butthole, but that could be why it tastes like a banana split.
It's like a banana shit.
Oh, man. I don't even fucking... Why would you eat a monkey?
I don't know.
It's such a poor cover-up to me.
Right. I've never seen a monkey and thought, man, that thing looks appetizing.
Imagine, monkeys are just as smart as we are. They're like, I hope they don't fucking eat me.
Some of you guys listen to our show, they're probably fucking smarter.
Yeah. That's hateful. Jesus Christ, Rob.
To enjoy this shit, you gotta be a fucking idiot. No,
You're right.
It's okay. You guys are the most intelligent people in all the world.
You get so much smarter by listening to this show, too.
You get, way smarter.
The Hep B experiment was considered a huge success. Was it now?
Whew, yeah.
Over 1,000 gay men were inoculated. And I had to look up what inoculated meant.
That
And
means put down, right?
I think that's where you fuck somebody really hard. You fuck them so hard,
You knock them out?
their butt falls out. Their nugget just rolls out. 96% developed antibodies against the Hep B virus, and that shit wouldn't have worked if they were all immunosuppressed. And think about this. I'm glad I put that in there. These guys have to create antibodies for this vaccination. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be creating any antibodies if they all have fucking AIDS, okay? Their bodies can't do it. They don't have the immune system to do that. So where did this epidemic come from? Unless it was done after the fact of this hepatitis B clinical shit, you know? None of these guys had AIDS to begin with. But all of a sudden, they all have fucking AIDS.
Give them all AIDS.
Yeah, they did. No one believes me, Rob. I've talked to nobody about this, but nobody believes me. I can tell you that. You don't believe me. I know that.
I've talked to absolutely nobody, and nobody believes me.
Monkeys taste like bananas.
Hairy bananas.
In the mid-1980s, the many blood specimens donated by the gay Manhattan men during the experiment were retrospectively examined for HIV infection by researchers at the NYBC. It was determined that 6% of the specimens donated between 1978 and 1979 were indeed positive for HIV. By 1984, the end of the study, over 40% of the men tested positive for HIV.
Man.
And the craziest part about all this, the final numbers of how many guys actually had HIV from that testing has never been revealed.
Okay.
See, Rob?
90%?
This is what they don't want us doing. They don't want us finding out the truth. That's why we're down here in the bunker at InfoWars.com. We got some super Becca brain. We've got the pills. We're constantly under fire. The left is trying to take away
male vitality.
Yeah. The male vitality. We're doing many good things out here at InfoWars.com. We've got all kinds of peanut butter sandwiches. They're making fucking crazy. I'm Alex Jones. This is the war on terrorism. I tried to listen to him last week during the...
I can't do it.
I tried to listen to him 2 weeks ago during the impeachment.
Oh, God, dude. I bet he was going crazy.
I wanted to go to all the craziest the day after the impeachment.
Yeah.
And he was the first
Rush
one I went
Limbaugh.
to. Oh, dude, he was lit. He went live while it was happening the night before.
Who, Alex?
Yes,
yeah.
10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he was just lit, dude. They're coming to take our fucking guns. They're coming to take all of our fucking gay frogs. That's all going away. Yeah, kiss it all goodbye.
Dude, he's so crazy.
Very crazy.
I love that dude.
Then there's this other conspiracy theory, okay? Jesus Christ. In the African epidemic, because America had the AIDS epidemic, but Africa had one too. There was this World Health, I can't remember the name of it. I wish I'd write this stuff down. Just
It's okay.
trying to pull it out of my ass.
We forgive you.
But there was this world initiative to help Africa with smallpox.
Smallcocks. Okay.
No, not in Africa, dude.
No, I was going to say, they don't have that problem. Never
They're
mind.
uterus destroyers over there, buddy.
Very true.
It's a hysterectomy hanging from their waist for sure. This dormant smallpox, the vaccine that they were giving, there's some people claim, sometimes scientists say, the vaccination for the smallpox would indeed activate some type of dormant something inside the body that would make AIDS just fucking happen. That these smallpox vaccinations were indeed giving the entire African population AIDS. And that's
weird.
I didn't go into the African conspiracy very much because it was too much.
Too much?
Yeah.
Right.
Now to the ultra conspiracy part of this topic. And this has happened to me before. This subject is nearly blacked out on Google, and I had to use my, what do I use? DuckDuckGo when I try and look for stuff.
Here comes another 1-star review.
Yeah. You don't even say
It was all over Google.
You don't think they're watching you and watching me write this review. These guys think they're super secret squirrel scientists in a fucking lab. They got dark web browsers. No, when you look up the Vegas shooting on Google, the Vegas conspiracy, nothing comes back. If you go to DuckDuckGo and type Vegas shooting hoax, all of it comes back. So if you're searching for stuff like this, like the Jeff Epstein stuff, and you want to learn more about that, don't go to Google. Go to DuckDuckGo. It's a search engine. And it doesn't restrict what you get back like the old Google does. There's that.
Okay.
I have not used it for porn because I'm very sexually active in my life. My wife is a saint. AIDS, and this is what a lot of talking heads say this, not me. AIDS was essentially a genocide attempt against blacks and gay males. In terms of racism, the two targets here, gays and blacks, are two of the most targeted groups of people in the history of all mankind, which I can effectively say that is completely fucking true.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing more that rich white men hate.
Yes.
Than gays and blacks.
Exactly. And for this epidemic, this virus, this disease, for it to only affect in mass quantity gay males,
these communities,
and African American males, it makes you think, what the fuck is going on? There's all these super elite guys with all the money, the Rothschilds and the Madoffs, all these super rich people could afford to pay to develop something like this, even if it wasn't the U.S. government. There's people behind the scenes that could pay enough money to develop something to make something like this happen. And the fact that it only targets young gay men and black males, it makes you think, maybe this is a calculated attack. Maybe this is someone shooting the target here. It's a far reach. You know, it could be crazy because not all fucking black guys are gay, but all gay guys are gay. If my calculations are correct.
Yeah. I'd say that's a big thing.
Okay.
Big requirement to be a gay guy.
Being gay.
Being gay.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. For me, it
He's a black male who happened to be black.
He was black.
Guess what? He was black.
The Alan Cartwell, I think's his name. He's really a violent speaker about this stuff. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's the author of a lot of this research that I went through. He points out that American gays were a perfect target due to a public perception of their drug use and promiscuity. At the time, yes. Now, in the 2010s, no, it's a little bit different, a little more socially acceptable. A lot more socially acceptable than it was in the early 80s.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Then there's a few other theories. Rich people. Why don't you read the rich people theory?
Sure, I love rich people. Another theory that was brought up that there's always been a cure for AIDS and HIV, and that only the richest and wealthiest people can receive the treatment. This came about after Magic Johnson announced he had contracted HIV in 91 and then retired from NBA. And as of this writing, Magic Johnson is, of course, still alive and
Very
well,
healthy.
and he has been able to maintain his HIV dormant state. Magic was seen much heavier than his playing days after retirement, and many believed that he had the money and means for the HIV cure. Many people have speculated that Johnson may have found a magical cure in Kenya or gone through a witch doctor to rid him of the disease. But Johnson denies all the rumors. Johnson simply states that he takes a daily concoction of drugs that help keep the virus dormant in his body.
Where's Black Panther live at? Wakanda?
Wakanda, yeah.
That's where he went to get fucking cured.
Yeah.
Was Wakanda.
Yeah, you gotta keep that virus dormant in that big, black, beautiful body.
It is. Such a spectacular man. In 1996, University of Cal Berkeley professor proclaimed that HIV is harmless and that AIDS goes hand in hand with a recreational drug use.
Oh, okay.
You only get AIDS if you smoke crack. This theory
Boomer talk right there.
was also taken as a stance by former South African President Thabo Mbeki, who later backtraced and said that most cases of AIDS were caused by poverty, poor nourishment, and overall bad health. He felt that the elimination of poverty in Africa would dramatically decrease the number of AIDS deaths. As one of the most deadly epidemics of the last 30 years, the HIV conspiracy has arguments for various ways that the disease started. Most often, when people ask an average person, where did HIV originate, the typical answer is from primates. And that's another thing, is it's socially acceptable to say this shit came from monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
Which it did, but it's not from eating monkey meat or fucking a monkey. They
From lab experiments.
got the stuff from the monkeys and they
Yeah.
turned it into a vaccine. If you guys haven't gathered that, that's what I'm getting to in my theory. That yes, it did come from monkeys. They genetically modified it to make the monkey sick. Then they took it from the monkeys. They turned it into something that they could put inside humans. They did this hepatitis B clinical thing where they injected these guys with shit, and they weren't inoculating them. They were getting them sick with the HIV virus.
Welcome to the rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, and this is just this is a copy and paste from Wikipedia. I know you guys love that. Our critics. And I'm going to let Rob Dog tell you about
Sure.
Project Infection.
Infection with a K. That makes it sound like it's like a new metal band.
Yeah. Operation Infection.
Okay. I like that. So Operation Infection was a popular name given to a disinformation campaign run by the good old KGB in the
Stalin.
1980s.
No, not Stalin. What's his Putin.
Putin.
Pooter.
To plant the idea that the U.S. had invented AIDS/HIV as part of a biological weapons research project at Fort Detrick, Maryland. Historian Thomas, or Thomas as we say, Thomas Boggart, Boghart,
Boggart the
Boggart, popularized the code name Infection with a K, based on the claims of former East German Ministry of State Security officer Gunther Bohnsack. Bohnsack.
What is your last name? My last name is Bohnsack. No, I'm not asking what you want to put inside of me. What is your last name? My last name is Bohnsack. Get him out of here.
So Mr. Bohnsack claimed that the Stasi, which is the East German Ministry of State Security, code name for the campaign was either Infection or perhaps also Vorwärts 2.
Vorwärts, that's where all the retarded wizards go to school. Not Hogwarts, they go to Vorwärts.
and this is in quotes, forward 2, so that's what it translates to.
Took a learn how to turn a dog into a potato today.
Now, however, historians Christopher Naring and Douglas Selvage found in the former Stasi and Bulgarian State Security Archives materials that prove the actual Stasi code name for the AIDS disinformation campaign was Operation Denver.
Operation Denver. When I think of a guy named Denver, I automatically assume he has a huge cock.
Oh, yeah. And like a real thick, bushy mustache.
I was going to say like
a flannel shirt.
Big, thick, bushy prostate. Because we've done a lot of prostate talk in this episode.
A big, thick nugget.
How hairy is your prostate? I don't know. Take a look yourself. Monkeys taste like bananas. Where are you from? I'm gay. Jesus, this is why. And you guys are going to hear in the episode, or in the interview, why I keep on saying, where are you from? I'm gay.
It's so good.
It's perfect. I love it.
Now, according to the U.S. State Department, the Soviet Union used the campaign to undermine the United States' credibility, foster anti-Americanism, isolate America abroad, and create tensions between host countries and the U.S. over the presence of American military bases, which were often portrayed as the cause of AIDS outbreaks in local populations, which is probably true. U.S. State Department analysts also claim that another reason the Soviet Union promoted the AIDS disinformation may have been its attempt to distract international attention away from its own offensive biological warfare program, which was monitored for decades. In addition to anthrax, bringing anthrax into this now, the Soviets were the Soviets were believed to have developed, what the fuck is that? Tularemia, sure. The plague, cholera, for biological warfare purposes, as well as, no wonder you didn't want me to, or you wanted to fucking have me read this, because all
I
these
went
words,
to school at Vorwerts, not Hogwarts.
As well as botulinum toxin, enterotoxins, and mycotoxins.
Got it. Whew. Microtoxins. I've heard of those before.
Got that. An alternative explanation.
Got it, need it.
An alternative explanation is that the operation may have been in retaliation for American accusations that the Soviets used chemical weapons in Southeast Asia, later dubbed the Yellow Rain Incident. That's
Yellow
just piss.
Rain.
Piss being rained upon.
Speaking of Yellow Rain, in high school, I watched a boy that I did not like very much get peed on by about 3 females at a party.
Oh, nice.
Infamous incident. You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
I'll tell you when we
tell me off
recording.
here.
Yeah. It was like the first party I ever went to. First, I was.
Then I'll decide at that point in time if I'm jealous of that guy or not.
Yeah, he was getting pissed on. I was a sophomore. It was the first real party I went to.
Okay. Was he in our grade?
Nope.
Okay.
You're a year ahead of us.
Oh, okay.
Everybody fucking hated this guy.
Oh, I know who it is.
Okay.
That's all you have to say.
He was always around, but everybody hated him.
Yeah.
And I just remember...
That's all you had to say.
And I didn't really drink. And I was at this party, and he had drank too much, and he was on the ground, and he just wasn't moving. And they're like, is he dead? And I spoke up. You know, there's a bunch of older kids there. I'm just like, I don't think I even had hair on my penis yet. Like, physically on the shaft. You have hair on the shaft?
No.
That's the whole, yeah. The whole shaft is hair. But okay. I said, oh, I don't think he's dead. I think he's, like, really drunk and he's passed out. And they're like, I'm going to go get my girlfriend. And this dude went and got his girlfriend, and she got her friends, and then 3 of them just started pissing all over this motherfucker.
Maybe I do remember the story, but I don't remember who all was involved.
Yeah. I
think I remember one person that was involved. I for sure know who the guy is.
Okay. One of them, her dad, is a nearly famous rock star.
Yeah, okay. Yep, that's what I thought. Yep.
Yes! And they pissed all over the boy. They flooded him with their urine. Their stinky Diet Coke urine.
God bless him.
Oh, thought I was passing the kidney stone on Christmas Day.
Oh, no.
Fought through. Turns out, it might have been.
You were pregnant?
Oh, horrible pain, dude.
Oh, man, I bet.
Started in my back, went down to my P-tip. Just horrible, horrible nastiness on Christmas Day. The kids
like,
man,
Merry Christmas.
Oh, I got a Chromebook. I'm like,
I got a kidney stone.
I've got blood in my piss. Oh. And I talked to my dad because he's had like 3 of them.
Yeah. I
said, Dad, I think I have a kidney stone. He's like, first questions he asked me, he's like, does your pee look like root beer?
Oh, God. Ooh.
Yeah, Dad, it does. am I going to be okay? So next up, we have the interview with Tyler. He was the Patreon sponsor of this episode. Thank you so much, Tyler, for sponsoring the episode.
Yeah, thank you very much.
If you'd like to sponsor an episode, go to patreon.com/BroHioPodcast. We'll get with you. You'll give us a couple topics. We'll interview you at the end of the episode. It'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
And so enjoy the interview with Tyler. Tell him you love him again.
Yeah, I love you guys.
I hit the wrong button, Rob.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm really going to hit it now.
Okay, hit it, baby.
Can't see my mouse. Where is it?
Oh, God.
We're here with our Patreon sponsor of the episode, Tyler.
Yeah, buddy.
Tyler, how you doing,
Yep.
buddy?
I'm good, man.
We talked to you. We talked to you for like 10 minutes before this, so you have to answer the same questions
Twice.
twice.
Okay. That's fine.
Yes. How long
Is your dick?
do you think my dick? how long have you been listening to the Ohio podcast?
Rob's is definitely wider than his long.
How
I've
long?
been listening for probably a year now, almost.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Tyler has picked a really cool subject. He said, he gave us the option. He said, what was the fucking Japanese warlord or Japanese demon monster thing he said? I can't even pronounce it.
Yokai?
Yokai. Or he said you can cover the fact that AIDS was made from a chimpanzee liver created by the government, the CIA. I said, that's right up my alley. That's
Super
right up
AIDS.
my alley. So I'll tell you, man, the research on this one was just, it was a bear. It was all over the place. Just how many different theories there that goes along with the HIV and AIDS.
Yeah, they're crazy.
It is crazy. And unfortunately, we're out of that epidemic, I do believe. I think we're out of the...
It's still around, but it's definitely not as prevalent.
It's definitely still around, but not like it was in the late 80s and the early 80s and late 70s. That was some...
No,
That was some...
you got Magic Johnson now.
We're going to talk about him a little bit in the episode. We haven't recorded it yet. But,
Okay.
so Tyler... I talked to Tyler before the episode, and we're going to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this episode. Rob and I are culturally, I wouldn't say we're insensitive, but we just don't pay attention to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's just like, we're all God's children. Let's all be fucking friends. That's kind of how Rob and I are. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, you got hairy toe knuckles. You're not hanging out at my house if you got hairy toe knuckles.
Yeah.
But
If you're green, we have a problem with you, but that's...
Crap, I can't hang out there. I'm hairy everywhere.
we were just trying to let everybody know that, if we do say things that kind of rub you the wrong way in this episode, we have no problems with anyone from anywhere for anything. So don't take that the wrong way. We had a review this week. Let me, since I have you, I'll read you the review, Tyler. I was going to read Rob the review at the beginning of the episode. But since it's your episode, you're going to be the lucky one that gets to hear this review.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, let me get to it real quick. It says, I hate the show. It says,
Me too. Keep listening.
Me too.
It says, I hate it. The picture looks creepy.
What picture was it?
And I see knives everywhere. I don't like it. I'm not listening to it anymore.
What are they talking about?
What the fuck are they talking about?
Wow, nice.
Well, and I was thinking, we have a butcher knife on the desk, so if they're watching on YouTube, maybe they just didn't.
Didn't you hold a knife up to some doll one of the pictures?
No, it was a cat.
It was a cat.
Oh, it was a cat.
It was a real life cat. That was me.
Yeah.
It was
You
Pumpkin.
just your ass.
Yeah, so maybe this person does have a valid argument. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's fun though.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this episode is that there's just so many different theories that go along with it. There's like we said, the chimpanzee thing. There's the government thing. There's just a whole bunch of different stuff going on that says, hey, this thing is not what we think it is. And a lot of it makes sense. A lot of it's far-fetched. But we can't erase the fact that we did have a AIDS, HIV epidemic in the late 70s and early 80s where a lot of people died from this untamed virus. Okay, or I guess it's a disease. There's a lot of people that lost their lives because of it.
Mama.
Yes, Freddie Mercury being one of them.
Yeah.
Taken way too soon.
Way too soon.
He was a phenomenal performer. Phenomenal in everything he did. The guy that... I forget the name of the guy that played him in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
He killed it as well. He killed it as well. So, now with... you... what part of the world do you live in?
I'm gay.
No, I'm saying like that. Like,
What's the penis?
No, yeah, that's fine. Me too. No, but like, what fucking city do you live in?
This is Rob. Oh, I'm in Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. Oh, God, that was so good.
Virginia. I'm in the vagina.
I'm in Virginia. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Now, now when I ask you if you're gay, I want you to be like, I live in Virginia.
I live in a vagina.
I live in vaginas.
Where's the vagina? No, I'm just kidding. Regular vagina.
Yes. Well, we got that icebreaker out of the way right there. So, of course, Tyler, he says he's in Virginia, which has a much different social scene than that of Dayton, Ohio. And considering Rob and I have no idea what a nightclub looks like to begin with.
Probably have there. Just there's not much here.
Honestly, we have one bar club that caters to the homosexual scene.
Yeah.
And they're closing it in 1 month. We're not going to have anything after that. And I've heard that bar is an excellent place to go to because you can go there and not have to worry about, hey, I'm going to pick up a fat chick at the end of the night, because there's no chance of that. I mean,
my wife used to go there all the time. She loved it.
Yeah. But like I said, we don't have a very favorable social scene here in Dayton, so I can imagine it's a lot different in Virginia.
Bigger cities, yeah.
I
mean, we had a couple of them, not much.
I know going through this research, this epidemic, it was so far-reaching, and it just kind of swept the nation. Is this still a question? Like before you, I think from your, I've done some Facebook stalking. I think you're engaged. Is that correct?
Yes.
But before that, was a common question that you would have to ask somebody, like, "Hey, have you been tested before you engaged in?"
It was like probably with everyone else, just asking if they're clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my kids ask me that all the time when I walk by and they smell me. They're like, "Are you clean?" I'm like, "No, I'm not fucking clean. I'm a fucking mess right now. I have not
the fish cracks.
Yeah, I have not taken a shower in about 4 days."
That's a power move.
It is a power move.
Total power move.
Smell my goo. Now I can't imagine what it would have been like in the 1980s when you were trying to meet someone new, and how crazy this was. And it seemed like it was only this virus was only attacking homosexual males, and it
maybe it really wasn't. I think that's like a common misdemeanor, but like it was obviously was bigger in the gay community because the way that it absorbs into the body through the rectum is much faster than any other part of the body.
See,
that's the only reason.
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
But,
and also, Tyler, the G spot of a man is located in the rectum as well. I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not.
Oh, I am. Just ask Rob.
So Rob and I are two happily married men. We've been with our wives for a very long time. But if they packed up their shit and left us, do you think we would be able to find boyfriends that weren't each other?
Everyone has their own brand, you know?
Because man, I got an apple bottom. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Some of my guys are into older. You guys are like in your 30s, right? Yeah.
Early 30s.
So what do you call older guys? What's the nickname for those?
You would be a bear.
I'm a bear. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a bear.
No.
I'm an otter.
Rob,
I'm an otter.
Are you more buff?
I just got a dad bod.
He looks like
I used to have
chubby.
muscles. I used to have muscles, but not so much anymore. Now I'm just withering away.
If you're kind of chubby, then you're more of a bear. But if you were like kind of tougher, then you're like a cub, I guess it would be.
This is so fun.
Now Rob looks like if you were buying potatoes for a whole entire Like you're doing like a church event and you're buying potatoes for a lot of people, that's what I look like. But if you were just buying
And then beat it
potatoes
with a bat.
yeah. If you were like just buying potatoes for like 2 or 3 people, that's what Rob would look like. That's what Rob looks like.
Oh,
I'll take
shit.
that.
Be thin as me. I'm like a sack if you squeezed it.
Jesus. Tyler, I do appreciate you having a fantastic, I guess, sense of humor about all this. It is.
I love you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and we love you, and we thank you so much for supporting the show and sponsoring the episode and giving us a cool topic that we probably wouldn't have been able to think of on our own because it's just it's kind of taboo. And some things we're just like, we see it and we say, oh no, we definitely wouldn't be able to fucking cover that. But if someone sponsors the episode and says, this is what I want you to cover, well, that's what we got to fucking do. Here we are. But it's gonna be a good episode. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a fantastic episode. We still have to record it, which I hopefully we can do that.
That would be a bummer if we really didn't get to it.
Now, Tyler,
Not too late.
to switch gears here for a second. Do you particularly fancy the paranormal side of the show at all?
Yeah, I like the mystery and the crime stuff and the paranormal, yeah, all of that.
Have you gone through any traumatic paranormal shit in your life?
Not like really. I've gone through like those haunted tours they take you on, like in Gettysburg.
Yeah,
and
we have a live show there coming up.
Yeah, it's they're actually getting rid of the reenactments and all that, so it kind of sucks. But they take you on a tour of the town, and you're taking pictures. We got like some orbs. I'm like, that's just dust. And then the one lady's like, this drainage is really old and it's haunted. I'm like, oh really? I looked at her. I was like 10 or 12. I looked at her and like jumped on it and kept jumping. I was like, oh really?
Fuck your ghosts.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's good, man. There's all kinds of cool stuff to do in Virginia pertaining to the paranormal. There's a lot of stuff going on there. If you want to check that stuff out at all,
that'd be cool.
So we are going to record the episode now. Thank you so much for doing the interview. Do you have any questions for us at all? Do you want to know Rob's shoe size or anything like that?
I bet it's small.
It is very.
Yeah, he wears toddler shoes.
Yeah, wears size 13s and little boys.
No, man, you guys are great. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Does your fiance listen to us?
I kind of, every once in a while. I usually just listen at work. I got like everyone at work to listen to it, and like they love it too, and they join.
Oh, you make your friends at work listen to us?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
That's a
my boss doesn't really thinks it's annoying, but like all the younger guys who are in the back that work with me, they love it. That's cool.
You're gonna be a fucking celebrity, man.
Yeah, I told them. I'm like, wish me luck.
Are you working tomorrow, or are you off this week for the holiday?
Yeah, I work. I'm off Wednesday, so that's it.
Okay,
I got to beg to be off Wednesday.
Yeah,
we were just talking about that. I'm supposed to have a party at my house, and I thought I had Wednesday off, and they're like, "Nope, you got to work." I'm like, "Oh shit."
Fuck
that. It's nighttime.
I'm still going to get loaded regardless. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Hold on a second.
That sucks.
Well, Tyler, we're gonna move on to the episode now. Thank you so much for being a good sport, and just don't. If I give you one piece of advice, don't forget about that nugget in the butt, because I hear that feels really good.
Oh, I don't forget about it.
All right, forget about it. Then you're gonna be okay. All right, man. Well, take care, and we can't wait to get this out for you. Okay.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep. Take care, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
What a nice fellow.
There we go.
That's the interview with Tyler. The Patreon sponsored the episode.
Yep.
I said, where do you live? He said, I'm fucking gay. I love it, dude.
Best part.
What a good dude.
That's so funny.
Solid dude. All right. Well, thanks for listening to this episode. Now here's some Old Navy and all kinds of gas station ads you guys can listen to. To make you fucking rich. Tell me you love them, Rob.
I guess so. I love you.